Welcome back to the 80th anniversary Batman movie Batstravaganza, where I review every single Batman movie from the beginning of the saga till the very end. And today I'm here to review the second animated Batman movie from the 90s era. This is the review of Batman and Mr. Freeze, Subzero. This movie was directed by Boyd Kirkland, but it stars a lot of the same cast from the animated series. You've got Kevin Conroy as Batman, Lauren Lester as Robin, you've got Michael Ansara as Mr. Freeze, but you have somebody new with Mary Kay Bergman as Batgirl. I'm going to kind of go over a little bit of the story and then tell you the things I liked, the things I didn't, and then a review of whether or not you should watch this at all. And the story starts off a little bit different. Mr. Freeze isn't terrorizing Gotham City. He's like in the Arctic, chilling out with a couple of polar bears and an Inuit. And they're kind of, hanging out. Nora's in cryostasis and he's still looking for a cure. But then all of a sudden the place gets disturbed and Nora now has a very restricted timeline on how long she can last without a cure. He goes to Gotham City to find somebody he used to work with and force him to come up with a way for Nora to live. And this comes about with them kidnapping Barbara Gordon because she is a match, and he's going to transplant one organ from Barbara into Nora. But this is one of those transplants where if it happens, the donor dies. This gets wind of Batman and Robin, and they come to Barbara's rescue, and that's really all this story's about. There are a lot of things that I do like about this movie. Number one, the animation, the hand-drawn animation is spot on. It's a step up from the television show animation in the same way that The Mask of the Phantasm was from the TV show as well. Although this one looks a little bit better. It looks a little bit more nuanced. It looks a little bit more polished as far as the hand-drawn animation is concerned. The voice casting is, for the most part, amazing. Kevin Conroy delivers a great Batman. Lauren Lester does a great Robin. I absolutely love Bob Hastings in this. He was the Commissioner Gordon for the animated series. And just how he acts as that paternal figure, you can feel what he's delivering, and it works out well. But then I kind of want to talk about the things that I didn't like. And remember I said that the hand-drawn animation was good. There are times where it feels like it is operating in a physical world. However, when it is done against a 3D backdrop or there's 3D animation, it doesn't look very good. And I'm not saying that 3D animation is bad, it's just it doesn't work as a marriage should. A 2D and a 3D marriage, but they're clashing and it's very apparent. Yes, this is over 20 years old, so maybe it's not aging as well as far as technology is concerned, but it does stand out. Another thing that I wasn't a big fan of, and this, like I said, I enjoyed most of the casting, but the cast decision for Batgirl I felt wasn't the best fit. If I remember right, Tara Strong played Batgirl in the Batman animated series, at least from season 4, and I never had a problem with her, but this character, I don't know. Maybe I was just hearing things that I wasn't supposed to pick up on. I'm not sure. And I really hate that I didn't like this version of Batgirl as far as the voice casting is concerned, because I want to enjoy everything, but sometimes it just sounded a little off. Another thing that I didn't like, and this is story related, is that some of the characters do dumb things. Like Mr. Freeze is got such a hard-on with tunnel vision that he just does, and this may be more in line with his character, but I think that he's supposed to be a logical character, and in the third act, there are some things going down on location where there are explosions, and Nora is there, but he doesn't care about getting her out of that precarious situation. He's like, let's do the operation. It just didn't fit with his character. And then there are moments where, like at the very beginning, where Batgirl is on patrol and she's fighting thugs by herself. It didn't feel like that should be going on. And the reason why I say this is that whenever it's Batman, he usually likes to keep tabs on who's out and where. And this is a younger version. So, this is still Dick Grayson as Robin. So this is before you have Red Robin. This is before you have Red Hood. This is before all of that. and Barbara's going out on location by herself. I mean, Dick was trained from the start by Batman, so he would actually be a much better fit to go out by himself, but I didn't feel like that was true to the Batman part of the character. One last thing that I want to gripe about, and this is the biggest gripe I have about the story, when they're looking for donors, they're going through the entire hospital database, and as far as matches for Nora Freeze, there were 18 choices. You would think that they would do a background check on those 18 to see who would be the easiest to pick up, so to cause the least amount of hurrah. If they would have done a smidge, a just inkling of research, they would have said, let's not go with the commissioner's daughter. That just screamed out lazy writing to me. But overall, it's still an enjoyable movie, and I liked a lot of things with it. There were some things I didn't like. There was not as much action as far as Batman was concerned. Batgirl had a lot more to do, and that was fine. But I think it's kind of a miss whenever you have a third act and it's climactic and there are explosions and Batman doesn't throw a single punch. Do I recommend this movie? If you're a big fan of the animated series, go ahead and give it a shot, but I'm gonna say no. And the reason why I say no is because we kind of have a better, shorter version of this in the very first season of the Batman animated series, the episode Heart of Ice. It tells the origin story of Mr. Freeze, so you get that origin story, but in this case, it's a lot more bleak and it's a lot more depressing as far as from Mr. Freeze's point of view. And also, you do have a secondary bad guy who's voiced by Mark Hamill, and it's not the Joker. It works out so well, and I liked that episode. Yes, there are things that the Batman and Mr. Freeze Subzero has that Heart of Ice doesn't. But I gotta say, I think that I feel a lot more for what happens in that Heart of Ice episode. It's directed by Bruce Timm, and it was written by Paul Dini. So they get the characters right. So if you don't want to catch Batman and Mr. Freeze Subzero, you can catch that one episode, Heart of Ice, and you'll get pretty much the same gist of it. So that's my review for this Batman movie. Tell me what you guys think about it in the comment section down below. You enjoyed this video, hit that like button, and if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. Share this with your friends, and as always, this is Cameron with CBM Reviews. We'll see you next time.